Are citations throwing things? I mean, would they,
Well, they would have to because they're located within the city. They're a property owner within the city. That's why when the project's completed, they don't want to keep that property. They're willing to sell it, to other people once they've completed the project. But in the meantime, if they're the record holder, the record owner, then they have the responsibility to, as property located in the city, they have the responsibility that any other landowner in the city would have.
we'll find out.
If they don't think it's a problem, take some pictures of the windows broken and dirty needles laying inside of them and send it to them.
The Planning and Zoning Commission, they can determine that. All they got to say is a nuisance. We can assess some penalties on them.
Better check when they buy them, don't they go to the courthouse and say City of Cumberland, but we just don't see the deeds?
No, some properties have been transferred. I've seen that in the paper, the City of Cumberland.
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
But most of them have not been. But if they haven't been,
if the ones he's speaking of there, the buildings that are, that are danger, deteriorating.
They're very dangerous. But the old barber shop, the roof has fell in. The walls are leaning out toward the street. I mean, it's a matter of time before it falls out onto the sidewalk, possibly into the
So
road.
that sounds like something planning and zoning needs to look into.
We've actually had a couple people hide in Richie's old barber shop.
did you ever stop them from skating in that furniture store? Where they broke the window out? And those kids that go up there at night?
We did our best to be able to keep them out of there. The thing about it is just trying to keep an eye on it 24/7. It's hard to do. But every time we've seen somebody in there, we made sure they get out.
Well, we'll send out some citations for the Planning and Zoning Board met today, and that was part of the discussion to take action now because we've been sending out warning letters.
Right.
And letting some people try to take care of themselves before we cite them, but we decided today to just go ahead and.
I'd be much stricter to get it done.
So we'll start sending out the citation list, but I'll just send them out to Corps of Engineers. Okay. Okay, and then the next item is the Billips Avenue Walk Bridge. We got it closed out. We finally closed out the documents, and we were close to having to pay them back the $109,000. But we got the documents closed
So
out.
that's taken care of.
It's taken care of. And the 3 vehicles that we had published for sale, we had advertised them for sale. The person reneged and didn't, and withdrew the bid after we closed it.
They were saying,
Those ones that called during the meeting.
During the
It's
meeting.
like they aggravated us to death.
She said she didn't know it didn't run.
That's what you said.
Flat tires.
Well, you're talking about the truck and
2 vehicles, yeah.
the one police car don't run and one that does.
Yeah,
Well, did you put that one that runs back into the fleet for?
yeah, we were using it now. And
I would
all 3 of them are back
put
in.
the 2 that don't run back up for bids and get what you can get out of them because they're no use to us.
No,
They're an eyesore.
So
Yeah.
many keeps calling.
But I agree about the one that still runs. I'd put it back in the fleet, use it till it blew up. And,
can we take the second highest bid on this? Did we ever do bids on this?
We had that one bid. Who was it? We called him and he said he wouldn't.
Change his mind.
He changed his mind.
I wouldn't put a particular price. I'd put a starting price on them.
Well, we had a starting price on these.
I saw some of the starting prices, but they were a little high for those that don't run.
Well, the one that run, we wanted $1,200.
That was a good price.
But the other one was, the truck, we wanted $500, I think, and then $600 for the van. The other cars on need an alternator. But
Maybe
anyway,
just put
we'll
'em back up
put
again.
them back up again.
Yeah, see what we get on them this time.
And then, the water leak we had, it was over by the river here. Gary Hubbs, the owner of the Bluegrass Construction Company from Gray's Knob, he donated an excavator, and 2 men came up there and dug out that line for us. It's about 15 feet deep. And they fixed that line. We had it fixed in about 4 hours. And that's where we were losing about 1/3 of our water. And then,
And that was over by the,
right behind the tourism office on the other side of the river there.
okay.
The guy was going down in a boat and smelled chlorine.
I suggested that the maintenance men do that after snakes quit crawling, just ride down the river.
Just go around in the
Look.
boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ride in the boat.
Cause that leak at the river, that'd be hard to find anytime.
It was
Yeah.
buried under the river.
No, it was right at the edge of it, but if the river was up in it, would be buried. But at this time, it was right on. And, Cumberland Tourism, we had some back debts owed to the, Tri-City Heritage Corporation and the Kentucky League of Cities and the Cumberland Valley Ad Board, and the Tourism Commission paid the debts for us, and it was about $6,000. It was over 2 to 3 years back debts on all three suits. And the attorneys for, the Emma Giss lawsuit, they want consent to begin negotiating for the amount to settle the lawsuit that was filed by Mrs. Giss. I told them I'd take it to the council, and they surrendered, and they figured that now they want us to come up with an amount, try to negotiate an amount.
And that's something you can discuss in a closed session if you want to discuss it today, in a closed session.
It's probably something we need to address and get it out of the way. That was from the previous mayor and council.
Yeah.
Just
We
to
don't
make
have
that clear.
insurance at,
Oh, that's the insurance.
that's what I started to say,
But,
okay.
but they just needed our consent.
Oh,
But
okay.
did I have to go in the, just to let them?
No,
Not
unless
to
you
get
want, if
consent,
you're not
maybe.
gonna talk about, if you just wanna allow consent, which I think,
That's,
yeah, you can do.
we couldn't,
I think that's a
As long as you
fair,
don't talk about terms or anything.
no, we wouldn't know.
I make a motion, we give them consent
That's to begin those
to,
negotiations.
to begin negotiations with that, with Ms. Gibbs.
That legal, that legal?
That's all we're doing is giving consent. I mean, it's up to the insurance company and them to take care of any of those.
Yeah, that's
taken
it.
care of.
Motion made by Mr. Rowley, second by Mr. Dixon. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We have a ad valorem, property tax here. It has to be done every year. Our property tax was 3.89, isn't that right?
Yes.
0.0389, okay? Now, you know we're paying a $1 fire charge on their water bills.
Yes.
If we raise this property tax value to 0.004, we can delete the $1 fire charge off of the property tax, off the water bill. The $1 fire charge is unconstitutional.
How will that affect their property tax over it?
It'll be this, it'll be the 0.004 property tax will increase the property tax by $4,096, and the fire charge equals about $5,000. So it
Okay.
balances each other out, and we eliminate the fire charge.
I know people was complaining about that fire, and the $7 surcharge,
That's the next
which,
thing.
Is that the tax that comes out on the actual water bill, what you're talking about? What are we,
Be, actually, be affect your property tax.
on,
It's in a general fund.
okay.
And if you see, the fire charge tax is based on property tax. A person renting a house shouldn't be paying a fire charge back, so that's not his property.
yes,
The homeowner would be paying it.
or the landlord.
Yeah.
How long have we had that tax rate?
The dollar, or this?
No, the property.
389,
It's been
probably 10 years.
10 years, yeah. But we've had the
Same
dollar,
rate for sure.
we had the dollar rate for 40 years.